This is the O-scale woodshed from clevermodels.net. I did a video of building it so you can see how easy it is to build, and you can see how good it looks when you're finished. So I'm using cardstock from Staples. I use 110-pound cardstock, and I've got it printed out and I'm cutting out the pieces. Now I'm doing this freehand, but I don't always do them all freehand. I'm working on the flagstop building right now, and I'm using the straight edge on it. And I use the straight edge on this sometimes too, but since this is a wooden structure that kind of looks like it's sitting out in the back of something, you know, you see these kind of buildings around here everywhere, behind barns, and I wasn't real worried about it being exact, so I did it freehand. I have a pretty steady hand, but you can tell it's freehand when you look at the pictures. So after I cut out the insides, I always do the insides first, and then I color the edges of the paper. Now I'm using charcoal on this, and I color the edges while it's still connected, you know, to the sheet. So I always cut out the inside pieces first, and then color those edges. Coloring those edges is very important in making your models look good. I don't typically use scissors either. Now charcoal works real good, and I use that on a lot of models. But you can use colored pencils, and also I've seen some people use markers, and they come out really good. So I use colored pencils a little bit too. I'm going to use them on the red pieces. You'll see. Make sure to always try to scribe the lines before I cut them out. Any of the fold pieces, that X-acto knife that I use has a bad blade on it that doesn't cut very well, and it works perfect for scoring those folds. And then you got to make sure you color them. So I color all the edges of that too when I crease them. Now I did this wrong. I should have done these walls simultaneously, done the consecutive walls, because the way clever models, they are clever, and I should have sandwiched the tabs in between the adjacent wall. So I kind of messed that up. It still worked out. Mine still came out good, but I'm thinking when I build another one, because I'm going to do some more of these, I'm going to make sure to do it right. And when you do yours, you can make sure you sandwich those tabs in, and yours will be better than mine. I used colored pencils on these pieces, and then I also hit them with a little bit of charcoal too. But I used yellow on the little sign, and I'm gluing it on. Using white glue for all this stuff, and I usually use a paper or a toothpick. I'll show you on this one. These trim pieces on the inside, they look really good, but see, if I get too much glue in spots, I'll spread it out with a toothpick, because you don't want glue squeezing out all over the place. Now see, when I laminated this together, I should have been doing the adjacent piece and sandwiching that tab in there, so I kind of messed up on that. This is regular white glue, school glue, PVA glue, Elmer's, and I don't usually use this for laminating, but it was all I had. So after I use the white glue on them, I put them under a book and let them dry for a day. Make sure that they dry flat. I'm doing the trim pieces on the outside door, and when I'm cutting these out, I always try to not go all the way to the edges. I've done a lot of like little window panes, and you cut out a whole bunch of little corners and squares, and then you do perfect on 9 out of 10 of them. When you're doing the last one, you cut a little bit too far and cut it off. So what I do is I'll finish the cuts on the back side. So that's why I flip it over. And any of those little corners that I didn't connect all the way, I'll connect them from the back. The second thing that does is that it also prevents from having the little tears in the corners. So I use a red pencil on the edge of this, and then I went ahead and hit it with the charcoal just a little bit. And the little metal pieces they have, like where they patched the side of the wall, I hit those with the charcoal. I didn't get them with the red. Gluing these trim pieces on, the same thing. I don't want the glue squeezing out of the edge, so I'll take off the extra glue with a toothpick and then help spread the glue around. I really am impressed with how these models look. They look really good, and it's so easy. This is the outside trim piece. It's even thinner. You can also put the glue onto the other piece, however you glue it. It's gluing paper on it, so you'll be able to figure that out. I use a little pair of tweezers there just to adjust it. Just make sure it's perfect. And then I do this one. So got those done, and now I'm doing those metal pieces. So there's like a bunch of extra metal pieces in the kit, and I cut them all out. And after I get all the metal pieces cut out, make sure to get all the edges. So I just use charcoal on these. Make sure to get all of them real good. Then kind of figure out where they go on here. After I do that, figure out how I'm going to put them and start gluing them on. Same thing here. I try to be careful with how much glue I use, so I don't want it squeezing out all over the place. And I glued those pieces on. So this is 4 walls together. I didn't show putting the walls together because I didn't feel like I did it right, since I didn't sandwich those tabs in there. But the tabs, I used them, and then if you can see in there, I kind of camouflaged them so you don't notice those tabs. So that's the 4 walls, and the interior piece was also done. I wanted to show you what I did on the roof because this came out really good. Clever Models has where you can cut out strips and try to glue them on there, and I just wouldn't have been able to do that. It wouldn't have looked right if I did it. So I did this. I'm using an X-acto to mark the lines on the other side. So I go on the edge of each of the lines where I want a rib to be on the metal, and then I used a piece of charcoal. This is just to show you, so you can see from the back side. I can see all those marks. You wouldn't have been able to see it on the video if I didn't do that with the charcoal. So then I scribe a line. I'm not cutting all the way through, but just scoring a line to fold. So after I get them all folded, or not folded, but all the lines scribed, then I cut the piece out. And then after I cut the piece out, I fold all the pieces back. So what happens is when you fold it back, it stretches out that paper on the top side, and then when you flatten it back out, it makes a little crease up there. So it came out really nice, and I was really tickled with that. Actually, the video of the one I did for the building got messed up, so I redid this one so you guys could see how this worked, and it come out pretty good. You can see the little ridges on there. So this is what it looks like all assembled. You can see the detail inside. I really like that. I think it's cool when you can look in and see stuff. I glued a couple of the extra metal pieces inside. I did a spot on the layout for it, and I have some videos of it on there so you can see that here coming up. I want to thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful. Hope it gave you some good tips. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And God bless.